Yeah.
Oh, prom was 50 years ago, Coach. Come on, let it go.
50 years ago. It was not 50 years ago, you asshole. But speaking of prom, man, shout out to everybody that will be enjoying prom this year for their senior years of high school when it finally comes around next year in 2026. So shout out to y'all. I hope y'all enjoy that. Me and Coach were talking about prom, and I was just saying that it is ridiculous how much money is being spent on 3 to 4 hours for 17-year-olds and 18-year-olds. But hey, different times, different lives, different vibes. So let the kids have fun. Just want to say, first and foremost, to everybody that's a part of the Halftime Podcast community, peace, blessings, and health and prosperity to you all. Coach, how are you doing today?
Feeling great. I got a busy day ahead of me. So, after this podcast session, got to run on home and get myself ready for activities tonight at the school and things of that nature. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Gotta go home, change, and get ready to go make that bacon.
Essentially.
Yeah, that's the way it is these days. We don't get any rest, Coach. How was the weekend though?
Weekend was solid. Just kind of honestly was anticipating this upcoming week with just meetings after meetings after meetings, but the weekend itself was nice. Just being able to kind of relax and just be settled in and, feel fully energized and rested coming into this week. 'Cause I needed it. It's been a tiring week for sure.
Who are you telling? Yeah, weekend was pretty smooth for me. Just kind of work. Hung out with family as I could, when time permitted. And then was doing some, creative things on my own and just kind of figuring out different things that we can do for the pod and stuff like that, all the usual things. And then obviously always just thinking about this upcoming season for us when things kick off. We're about a few months away. So I'm kind of getting really excited and ramped up and geared up for that. But we have a show to do.
We do.
We have a show to do. We have to provide everyone the best sports coverage on all digital platforms. That is the Halftime Podcast. And first and foremost, you know how it go. It's the Halftime Give and Go. You know the rules, and the rules must apply. First, on me, Mikal Bridges of the New York Knicks gets his extension. I was going to say he's extinct. But he is getting extended for $150 million for 4 years. And I am thoroughly impressed and kind of wondering exactly what this may or may not do for the Knicks. I think he deserves the money. I don't necessarily know if that's going to make a difference. I do know everything is lining up for the New York Knicks to make this season a great one, and they have to show improve. They fired the coach. They moved on and got a new one. Guys are getting paid, so they have to make it. They have to make it worthwhile. All right, moving on to the NFL. The NFLPA new president? Or executive?
Yeah, he's like the interim executive.
Interim executive David White has been hired, and I don't know exactly whether or not he's going to make a difference. I hope that he can, make up for some of the mistakes that have been made from other executive members of that board. I think for this, I hope he can line things up to where the players feel like they're represented, that the players feel like they're getting their piece of whatever it is they're looking for between their bargaining and the NFL. And hopefully he'll be able to show that this season to the players so that they would like him to stay around. On you, Coach, we got Son. I hope I said this right.
I got you on this one, Coach. Son Heung-min, Spurs player over there in England, has officially been transferred to LAFC of the MLS. So it's a $26 million transfer. It's a record-setting number. So it's going to be exciting to kind of pull some more of these, Premier League players into the States and be able to watch them, from the comfort of our homes on networks that we're familiar with, or being able to see them in person when, LAFC comes to play the Chicago Fire whenever they play this season. So it'll be exciting, and he's a great player, and LAFC is going to have a fun time with him.
We're going to have to really talk about these transfers and all of these international players coming to the MLS, because the MLS is trying to make some moves to finally get people to have eyes on them. But we'll obviously talk about that later.
Yeah.
Chris Boucher, Coach, what you got on Chris Boucher?
Yeah, it's a 1-year, $3.3 million contract with the Boston Celtics. Great pickup for them for a really great value contract.
Yeah.
For 1 year, it just makes sense. They're kind of in a contract reset year this year, especially with Tatum being out for a significant amount of time with that injury. But this is a great role player to be just kind of slide into that team. He's gonna make an impact immediately. He's a guy with length. He's got defense. He could score the ball a little bit as well, and he's gonna fit right in Boston.
All right, Coach. Luka got paid. Lucky Luka got paid. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, 3-year, 165. Of course, it's not the contract that he would have gotten paid.
Nope.
If he wasn't moved from Dallas. So honestly, this is a great deal for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yes.
Of course, we know LeBron James might have just 1 or 2 seasons left there. So it keeps Luka there. Keeps him in LA. You know, there's some speculation maybe he'll be on the move next offseason. You know what I mean? But LA shuts that down. We don't want anybody talking to our golden boy now. We're going to ride with this guy. And yeah, this shows that this is their face of the franchise for years to come.
Yeah, and last but not least, speaking of golden boys, Swiper the Fox, De'Aaron Fox has gotten paid by the San Antonio Spurs. It was kind of rumored that there was some pessimism around whether or not he was going to get an extension from the San Antonio Spurs, but it looks like they have decided that from the footage and the tape and the things that they seen in De'Aaron with the San Antonio Spurs, that he is somebody they would like to keep around going forward. I'm interested to see if he will slide over to the 2-guard position at some point in time to allow Stephon Castle to play the point guard, but we will see what the San Antonio Spurs decide to do with De'Aaron going forward. All right, Coach, that has been the halftime give and go. I want to remind everyone out there to please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Halftime Pod. We have gotten over 200 subscribers, but we got to keep going up and away like Buzz Lightyear. So I need you guys to stay committed. Tell everybody you know. If you're a fan of us, reach out, tell them about the pod, tell them about everything that we got on Apple, Spotify, and Amazon Prime. Just let them know. Let them know where you're getting your information from, baby. That's all we're asking for. Other than that, Coach, you ready to move on?
Let's get right into it.
All right, let's play our game. Coach, let's play our game. Who's cooking and who should stay out the kitchen? Number 1 on who's cooking, we got to talk about this Boston Celtics front office, since we can't talk about the Bulls too much often about their front office woes. Let's talk about somebody that is doing pretty well. So Boston was in a situation where they were going to be in luxury tax hell. All right, that they were not knocking on the door of hell. They were literally in it. And they have found themselves into somewhat of a little bit of heaven. They have moved on from Drew Holiday. They've moved on from Kristaps Porzingis. They've moved on from, who else did they move on from? No, that's it, right? Them the 2 big pieces that they moved on.
They moved Georges Niang as well in a trade recently.
Yeah, but I'm talking about their big money people. The big money people.
He was making 8 to 10. So I mean, that
helps.
Amount, those are the two main guys.
So they moved on from Drew. They moved on from Kristaps. They moved on from Georges Niang. We just talked about them picking up Chris Boucher. They're dealing with Jason Tatum having the Achilles tear, so he'll be out for the season. I guess they're putting together at least a decent enough competitive roster to try to figure out exactly what this Boston Celtics team can look like without Jason Tatum. Obviously, Jaylen Brown will be the flagship player. This is an opportunity, though, for Jaylen Brown to show and prove. Have people been underestimating him or overestimating him? This also could speak trouble for Jaylen Brown as far as whether or not his days in Boston can end up being numbered, because I'm not so sure that with everything that Boston is showing and doing about trying to make sure they stay out of that second apron of luxury taxes and things like that, there is a possibility in a world that Jaylen Brown could be moved at the trade deadline if Boston feels like their season isn't going anywhere, but they can still get value and great assets for Jaylen Brown going forward as they prepare for Jason Tatum to come back. Now, I know somebody might say that's malarkey, that's bullshit, why would Boston do that? But I'm just looking at every single move that they've been doing, and they are the type of franchise and organization that will strike when the iron is hot. So I am excited about this upcoming season from Boston. I'm happy and looking at the things that they've done in the offseason. Brad Stevens has been doing a wonderful job of being able to shed salary, still get some pieces back to try to make a competitive team while you wait for Jason Tatum to come back from his Achilles injury. But I am interested to see how this season will go when it comes to Jaylen Brown and either his ability to lead the team, not lead the team, and whether or not he might be somebody that's rumored throughout the course of the season to be on the move. Your thoughts about the Boston front office so far?
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, they've done a spectacular job. One deal that's been made in the past, in very recent time, is the Georges Niang deal. Like I said, he was traded for R.J. Lewis Jr., and I believe a pick with that as well.
Yeah.
That's great value. R.J. Lewis was one of the top guys in college basketball this this last year. Of course, he kind of had that letdown college playoff kind of appearance where he just couldn't shoot the ball well, and then ultimately Coach Pitino set him down. You know what I mean? But he's in the league. I think he's got some great attributes, some great skill to him, and can make an impact on any team.
Right.
What better place than Boston, who has showed a history of being able to develop players. Secondly, on that point, when speaking about Jaylen Brown, I agree with you. I don't know what Jaylen Brown's future with Boston looks like. We heard rumors from Shams and from other NBA insiders that, Boston was looking at trade deals around the NBA draft, see if they could possibly move him. San Antonio was honestly the hot spot in that running. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens from here. I think it really is. A lot of it is dependent on how this season goes for them. Because I think with these teams trying to avoid the second apron, it shows that you can't really pay two guys $60 million and expect to still have solid assets to still put onto the floor in order to make that work.
Absolutely not.
And yeah, with Brad Stevens making these moves, Boston's only $13 million away from being under the luxury tax, let alone they're only $5.5 million for being under the first apron.
Yeah.
So
he's made moves, baby.
Yeah, they're getting out of that tax situation, that salary cap situation. So good on him.
All right, let's move on to another coaching staff and another. I guess we can argue and say that the organization is looking and appearing like they're turning a corner, and that is our very own Chicago Bears coaching staff. And from training camp, it looks like they are on these players' asses, man. They're not they're not happy about mistakes. They're holding everybody accountable. They're setting a tone for what is and what isn't acceptable, and they're holding the players to it. If you don't fall in line, your ass will be cut. If you are not participating in the faculties in which we want you to be, you will be on the sideline. If you are not showing signs of improvement, you will be benched. Your position on that depth chart will be moved, and it won't be a surprise. They will tell you in real time, you are sliding back this way because you are not performing at the level that we would like you to perform at this point in time. I think it is good for the culture change. We have been saying for the longest of time that we've kind of felt like with the Chicago Bears that we don't know who they are, that we've kind of lost a little bit of that culture, a little bit of that oomph that made them the monsters of the midway. Now, the defense has been holding up the end of the bargaining for a long time, but even with some of the casual mistakes from last season that cost us some games, those were very un-Chicago Bear defense-like. And so these things are being cleaned up in real time with the training camp, with Ben Johnson, his intensity, his attention to details and emphasis on the details. I like it. I think it sets a great early tone. It allows us as fans to have a perception of expectations. Is it fair? Maybe, maybe not. But at the end of the day, we're walking into the situation with our beloved Bears feeling like we finally are in a situation where the coaching staff, the organization, and the players have expectations, they have culture, and they have metrics in which they have to meet. And that for us as fans at least gives us a little bit of a promise in a sense of like we're at least getting effort now from what we weren't experiencing as fans before, where it just felt like guys were just out there playing, but there was purposeless football. There was lack of understanding. There was no attention to detail. It looks like all of that has been, I won't say fixed, but it looks like it's going and heading in the right direction of being fixed. And I am excited. Your thoughts, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, it really just seems like there's a whole new level of accountability that's being held here and a standard.
Yeah.
You know, like things that would have flown in previous training camps is not flying here.
Yeah.
Just the other day, they had their most physical and heated training camp practice of the entire offseason, and there was fights flaring up, and it's like, you know, to a certain point, it's like, finally, you know what I mean? Like, these guys have been so nice to each other, and we love it because they're a team, but at the same time, let's see some competition.
Yeah. Where's the intensity?
Some animosity as well, you know? Like, it is the game of football. It's smash mouth football. Like, let's see some of that. And we got to see that after a very lackluster performance from both sides of the ball at Family Fest on Sunday. So, coming back the first practice after that and being like, all right, screw that. We're putting on the pads. We're having a really physical practice. Let's compete. And that's exactly what they went on and did. So I think just that minute detail compared to all the other things we've been hearing throughout training camp has shown the culture that Ben Johnson is instilling here. But I think most notably as well is the coaching staff in its entirety.
Yeah.
Dennis Allen has been holding these guys to that same level of accountability as well. Like, he's making players run up downs on the side of the field if they're messing up constantly. There's no exception. Richard Hightower has been all over the special teams guys. Like, it's finally seeming like a competent staff on all levels. Like, not just one side of the ball, but we got another side. We got a complete staff.
Yeah.
Finally, because I feel like we haven't had that since the Lovie Smith days.
I agree. And it just feels like, I think what we are experiencing is a coaching staff and a group of players that recognize that there's a little bit of writings on the wall of like, okay, we have to fix this shit. We have been bad for too long. Yes. We have not been living up to expectations for a long time. We have the number one pick in Caleb Williams. We've done so much. We cannot fail. We have put in so much time, so much effort to get the best coach, the best quarterback, the best pickups that we can possibly get on the offensive line, and all of these different things. And we're also going to be talking about something later about potentially could be the next best thing for the Chicago Bears to try to pivot to. But they're doing everything possible to turn everything around. And I think everybody is kind of on high alert to understand, like, yo, what happened last season cannot be duplicated. Otherwise, there are going to be a lot of people, maybe not Ben Johnson, but there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be scrutinized. And depending on how it really looks, maybe even Ben Johnson will be included in that.
Yeah.
All right. But that's who's cooking. But let's talk about the people that should get out the kitchen. And number one on who should get the fuck out the kitchen, Jerry motherfucking Jones of the Dallas Cowboys. Bruh. Some people just don't know how to stay the hell out the way. Like, no matter what, they just need attention. They need to be in the limelight. They need people talking about them. They need people seeing them. They cannot just be rich and be in the back. They can't just do that. They gotta be out front. Jerry Jones, why in the hell are you trying to play chicken in contract negotiations with arguably your best player on your team? Not just one side of the ball. You paid Dakota Prescott, and I'm going to call him Dakota because he doesn't deserve to have his name shortened like he's really that guy. So Dakota has been paid, and CeeDee Lamb has been paid, but you don't pay Micah Parsons? This is what we're doing? We're going to play games with his contract? Now, I understand that everybody thinks you have to go into everything being a negotiator. You got to stand firm. And it's all about getting the best deal. Yeah, it's also about keeping the best player too. Do you want to win football games, Jerry? That's what you tell your fans every single year. That's why Dallas Cowboys fans are the worst fans in all of sports, because they get sold on the idea that Jerry has a plan and we're going to pay for this and we're going to get this and we're going to do that and the Cowboys are back, baby. But in this moment, you don't want to pay Micah Parsons. Arguably outside of who? Maybe TJ Watt and Myles Garrett. I mean, that's it. That's the upper echelon there. That's the best defensive ends in all of football. Those three. That's your holy trinity right now of defensive ends. TJ, Myles Garrett, and Micah Parsons. And you have one of them, Dallas. And you don't want to pay him, Jerry? Just get the fuck out the way and pay the man. So that way, at least you can walk away saying yet again that it can't be you because you're paying guys. So you can leave it on the players and leave it on the coaches. But if you let Micah Parsons get so disgruntled to the point that this trade that he's requested actually gets fulfilled, unless you get the haul of a lifetime for Micah Parsons, you're going to look like a complete fucking idiot, Jerry. Those are my thoughts.
Yeah, we'll be getting into the Micah Parsons aspect of it in just a little bit, but just to comment on Jerry, it feels like every time a player in recent years, his extension time has come up, it's always a problem, and it's gotten frustrating to a point, and we're seeing it in other franchises, but this has been going on in Dallas for as far as I remember.
Man.
Like, even when CeeDee Lamb's contract was coming around to extend, it was also a problem.
Yeah.
And he's top 5, top 10 every single year.
Even with Dakota, it was a problem.
Yeah, and well, what do you know? He's currently the highest paid quarterback in the league, and that's crazy to me.
Is he the highest paid or one of the highest paid?
No,
he is the highest paid?
Yeah, technically the highest paid.
Wow,
So,
man, that's crazy. That is insane.
Yeah, it is weird as far as how Dallas is conducting business. They're supposed to be America's team and this and that, but they're not America's team. Like, they're refusing to pay guys for their services, and that doesn't seem very...
No, that's actually very American.
It could be, maybe, but you know what?
That actually lines up.
I guess, because Jerry Jones is about as American as they come.
Man.
So,
Man.
But yeah, it's frustrating to see. He needs to get out of the kitchen. He needs to get out of the way completely.
Yes.
I agree with you.
Yes. Anything else?
No, let's get to our next guy.
Let's get to the last bit of who should stay out the kitchen. And I don't want to say they should stay out the kitchen because you need them. Technically, you need them for the product, and you need them around. But they should stay away from the stove right now, because right now things are getting a little hot, and this is the fans of the WNBA.
Maybe they need to stay out of the arena because certain things are being.
All right, we just gonna say it. Fuck it, it's our show, it's our podcast. So we can say it. Why are people throwing dildos on the court? Like, what is the funny joke about this? Like, am I missing something? I personally don't get it. I don't understand if there's a political point people are making. I don't understand if there's just like a running internet meme joke about the dildos in the WNBA. I don't know if there's supposed to be some type of underlying joke about them being like people trying to suggest that they're all lesbians or something like that. Like, whatever it is, it ain't funny. It's very childish, and you can fuck around and get somebody hurt if it hits somebody. Because apparently, I guess dildos. Don't look at me like that, Coach.
I'm just looking at you, Coach.
You're almost laughing, but apparently, I don't know, but dildos have weight to them, enough weight that it could hurt somebody with gravity and intensity of a throw if it hits somebody.
We should just move on, bro.
No, we shouldn't move on because I think it's fucked up that they're doing this.
No, I agree.
And I don't understand why this shit is happening. Like, I don't know who came up with the whole dildo throw campaign, but it needs to stop.
No,
like this shit is absolutely stupid. On all seriousness, it could hurt somebody. Somebody could get hit. Somebody could get hurt. I don't know what type of precedence or message is trying to be sent. But it's dumb as fuck and it's childish as hell. So
yeah,
I don't know what the WNBA can honestly do about this. I don't know what security can do about this because these things aren't metal. It's not quote unquote considered and classified as a weapon of choice. It's rubber, so it's not going to be picked up from a metal detector or anything like that. So arguably, they're going to be able to get it in the arena.
Some arenas have been, and some teams have been implementing a no bag policy at all recently.
Right. So like, I mean, but then they can just strap it onto them.
Right. That too. It's
not trying to be funny. But,
I know. Yeah. I hate that it's going on. It's annoying because like it disrupts the whole flow of the game. Like it's just somebody has to throw it out there, and then like we all.
But now it's become a problem because they're betting on it now. Like,
are they really?
Yeah, it's like a fucking gamble thing about what's going to be what game is the next dildo going to be thrown at?
Actually,
and is there going to be a color?
I'm seeing we're just bored in 2025. We have nothing better to do.
Do you think this is a micro passive aggressive response to the WNBA players saying, pay us basically what we owe, or honestly, pay us what we deserve? Do you think fans like these micro aggressive fans who want to play in the background, who kind of want to put these ladies in their place or some shit like that, whatever freaking fucked up psychology they have in their mind about whatever the situation, do you think is these type of fans that is doing this, or do you think motherfuckers just think this is funny?
Dude, I don't know. I think it's both. Like, I think some people that have done it have just maybe because it's become a terrible trend on X now that people are doing it, but maybe it's also the point that you're making, that maybe it is the people that are like, oh, you want to get paid more? Well, I'm gonna do this. And it's like, I don't know. It's
as if they're trying to make a mockery of the sport. Like,
you know what I mean?
You guys think y'all deserve more money, and this, what is this? This isn't even a great product. Like, look at this.
Right? Yeah.
I don't know.
It's very disrespectful. It's very unfortunate. I feel for the WNBA and the players and teams that it's affected so far. Hopefully, nothing else happens from here.
I'm going to say this. Seriously. This is a very low point in the WNBA history. Yeah. Like this is gonna go down as part of like probably the worst points in WA history, where you had the fucking, what are you gonna call this, the dildo gate? You know what I'm saying?
You did it to yourself, Coach. I didn't even look at you. You did it to yourself. Yeah, that'll trend, I guess.
Oh shit. All right, let's move on. That's been our game, Coach, of who's cooking and who should stay the fuck out the kitchen. I want to remind everybody to follow Coach at Coach KDZ on his Instagram, or you can follow me, Coach Malcolm, at Coach M_got it. If you want to reach out to us about anything, just to talk, to reach out about any skills training, anything you want to talk about with your athletes. If you want to join AAU, or if you want to just, chat with us about any of the topics that we've talked about over the course of all of our episodes. This is episode 45, so we got a litany of things that we've discussed and talked about. So if there's anything that you felt like from previous shows that you want to kind of comment on, or just get a little bit more discourse or information on with us, feel free to reach out to us in our DMs to talk about anything. We would love to communicate with anybody from our community and anybody outside of our community, because we would love to bring you on board to the best sports coverage on all digital platforms. All right, Coach, you ready to get into it?
Let's get right into it.
Let's get into the halftime report. Oh yeah, you know what? There was a time period where I was just sick as fuck and I couldn't do anything with my voice. I'm just so happy, bro, that I'm no longer in that phase of being. It was like terrible shows where I couldn't like even talk.
I remember the voice was raspy, very cracky,
fucking terrible.
Yeah, it was bad.
But I love our community, so for the love of the pod, I showed up.
Yep.
All right, let's get into it. We referenced it earlier, but let's talk about it right now. Micah Parsons, all right, he wants out of Dallas. They're not paying him. He deserves it. He wants the money. He's like Deion Sanders, show me the money. Must be the money. All that, So with that being said, he's not getting paid yet. I think Dallas will get this done. But in the event that they don't, Micah Parsons has requested a trade from America's team. Now, I don't know if this is actually true or not, but there has been language that has suggested that he's a fan of the Chicago Bears and that he I've seen quotes saying that he would love to be a part of the new Chicago Bears culture and bring them back to the level of relevance in the history of their defense and all these other things. This has not been the first time that this has percolated. Even around the NFL draft, there were talks and discussions about whether or not the Bears would try to make a move for Micah on draft night. Prior to the draft, there was conversations earlier on because there was questions about whether or not Dallas was going to pay Micah and all this other stuff because they also had to pay CD and different things like that. And so the Bears have been circulating and percolating about getting Micah, trading for him, thinking about it, this kind of pseudo side chick love affair that's been going on between the Bears and Micah Parsons, right? The sneaky link affair that has been happening with them. And I'm trying to figure out whether or not, as a Bears fan, I should even give any type of credence to this. Should I even be excited about this? Should I fucking care?
Mm-hmm.
Or should I jump for joy and be like, get this done. Let's go. Go over there and figure it out. Tell Jerry Jones you'll sell your soul to get Micah. Not really, but maybe. If that's what it takes to get Micah, Ryan Post. So if that's what it takes, then hey. But if this is true, we're not going to be the only team that is going to be looking for Micah, that's going to be able to put things together for Micah. With that being said, do you believe the Bears have a chance? Do you believe in this sneaky link affair? And do you think that there is a price too large to get Micah Parsons in the event that the Bears would even consider the trade? Now, Jerry is saying that they're not listening to any offers, but that's usually what you say when you're basically saying, if you're going to try to get this guy, you better make this conversation worth more than 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Because 5 seconds in, I'm ready to tell you fuck no and get off my phone.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely been some flirtatious kind of quotes here and there between the Chicago Bears and Micah Parsons. I think it's mostly come from Jaquan Brisker and Micah being teammates at Penn State. So they do have that connection, and of course, you know, it's always a NFL player's dream to be able to link up with his own buddy that he played with in college. You know, just how you have Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. You know what I mean? Look where they are in the NFL, and
Justin and
Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson.
So
with
like
the Jets.
you've got some of these pairings, and I'm sure those two would love to pair up. Micah has also come out and said very high things of Caleb, that he's a believer in Caleb. I think it does make sense for Chicago to go ahead and do this for multitude of reasons, but I'll just list a few. Firstly, I believe that the Bears' pass rush is still something that's very concerning to me for this season. I'm not a believer in Dial.
We don't have it. I'm just gonna tell you the truth.
Yeah,
we don't have it.
Like I like the guys that we have on the interior, and I like Montez Sweat, but I'm not
run support.
Yeah, I'm not a believer who we have on the other side of the ball. Can we get to the quarterback? Because if you're gonna play press coverage, right? How DA wants to play, you know, get up, play physical at the line. You need your pass rushers to get home quick, and it doesn't seem like I'm just not a believer in this group at the moment. Maybe they'll be able to scheme a couple things up to do so, but we'll see how that ultimately goes. You insert Micah instantly. You put your name forward as one of the top defenses in the league at that point because of just who you have in the secondary, at the linebacker level, and across that whole D-line.
Yeah.
What does it take to get done? That's, I think, the one question everyone has at the moment, because Micah and Jerry aren't talking at all. That's the report that has come out. So we'll see how much merit that actually has. We've seen a multitude of players ask for trades and get contract extensions eventually. Yeah. Our very own Jalen Johnson did the same thing, right before his extension. You know, he asked for a trade.
Yeah.
So, but ultimately he got paid. The same thing is going on with Terry McLaurin. Lord knows if he's actually going to get shipped off or if that's, you know, just another contract.
Well, the Commanders signed a wide receiver.
That too, right?
They actually did, like, kind of say like, all right.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting what they
Yeah.
do there, but I think with Micah, it's very genuine considering the post he also put out as soon as he asked for that trade. He had like a whole 2 pages of just, him talking in his notes, and he just put that onto X talking about it. So it seems genuine. It seems he wants out. And if you're the Bears, why don't you do this? I don't know why you wouldn't.
Because it could be very expensive, and I don't know.
But here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
I think Jerry Jones is very concerned that, and he's came out and said it, that he's not confident he's going to have Micah Parsons for week 1 when they come out and play on Thursday Night Football.
No, he won't.
Yeah, so
if they don't get a contract done,
you
can count Micah out.
Exactly, and that's a huge problem. Like if you're going to have just that caliber type of player sitting on your bench, not showing up to games, fine him as much as you want because he's already made millions of dollars in his career. I'm sure it gets annoying to a point, and
I'm sure he's been smart with his money. He seems like somebody that's pretty smart.
Definitely, but I think a lot of these teams that would be looking to trade for Micah have all the leverage right now. Because Dallas is
negotiations.
I think Dallas is at such a standstill and just at a crossroads with Micah that they don't have any leverage. They don't have anything. Like, yeah, you technically still have Micah, but guess what? He don't want to play for you no more.
But that's the leverage. The leverage that they have is we have what you want.
Yes, this is true. But I don't think it's gonna be an insane amount. Like it's one thing if Micah was playing and he's still technically on the roster, but he asked for the trade. He's still playing. It's like, okay.
Is he a free agent after this? After this season, is Micah Parsons a free agent?
That I don't know. I don't know that.
Because I think that would be where the leverage may or may not be lost on the Dallas Cowboys. So let's say Micah is a free agent next year, and while you looking that up just to verify. But for the scenario of Micah Parsons being a free agent next season, then Dallas has a lot of leverage lost because now it's like you have no choice.
Yeah,
go ahead.
So they picked up his 5th-year option under his rookie deal for this entire season, and since it's a 5th-year option, it's fully guaranteed. He doesn't have to play a single snap, and he'll get that money.
Get the money. Yes.
So he is a free agent come 2026 offseason.
So they're in a fucked up situation. Dallas is, because they have to sign him to an extension and give him basically a new contract, or they're gonna have to trade him because otherwise he'll just get to walk and go wherever he wants to go
after making a whole year
of guaranteed money and not playing, because if he doesn't get a new contract, he just won't play for them.
Yeah.
So then they have no leverage. You are correct then, because I did not know that he was going to be a free agent. So now that I know that, you are correct. They're going to lose leverage in this because he is a free agent. So they will have no choice either to give him the deal he wants or to trade him to somebody that's willing to give the best offer. And then arguably then Micah can still step in and go, these are the places I want to go. Anybody else that trades for me outside of these particular teams, I won't sign a new contract with you.
Yeah, that too.
And that's the next step, right?
Micah is in a really good position.
Yes, he's in a great position.
Yeah.
Not to mention he has his podcast, so that'll bring him a little bit of money in while this situation is going on. So he's in a good situation. Dallas has no leverage. They either need to trade him or pay him. However, I do still think you're still going to have to give a good deal because you're going to still be competing with other teams.
Of course, yeah.
And so I don't know who's more desperate, because the Chicago Bears should feel desperate for a elite pass rusher to solidify what this defense can materialize and become. But I am going to say that there might be a team in the NFL that's a little bit more desperate than us to try to make a difference. I don't know if that team has the money. Well, they definitely have the money. Asset-wise, I'm not sure.
Who?
The Commanders could sneak in.
Mm-hmm.
They could really sneak in and be a team that grabs Micah. And I believe the Commanders are a divisional rival, aren't they?
Correct.
With the Dallas Cowboys. Right. So I can see them being able to, and they have Magic Johnson over there. They got Jaden. They want to have stars too.
Of course.
So I can see that being a team that can also feel just as much like the Bears, that they're just right on that cusp of doing something special too, and having something special as well. So I think they're a team that could step in. Another team that I think potentially might do it, I wouldn't count New England out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Vrabel, with all the cap space that they have, I wouldn't count them out of doing that.
So, okay, let me ask you this then. If he were to say, I want to go to Chicago.
In Chicago only.
What does Chicago need to give up in order to get this Micah deal done? Because I have my answer, but I want to hear what you think first.
You're definitely going to have to give up next year's first.
Okay.
You're probably going to have to give up next year's fourth as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then the following year, you're probably going to have to give up either a conditional second or a non-conditional third. Player-wise, I'm trying to think about what Dallas needs. You might have to give them Roschon Johnson.
Mm.
And maybe you might be able to get off with doing something like that. Maybe. Okay. So those picks, Roschon Johnson, and maybe like a Javon Dexter to throw in.
That's a lot of value. Javon still carries a lot of value.
I know, but you're also getting Micah Parsons.
This is true, but so
I think it's something along those lines. Because if I'm Dallas, I'm looking at it and I'm saying, well, we would like to have a bell cow, somebody that's untapped, somebody that has been underutilized at the running back position. Roschon is that. If we're going to give up somebody off the D-line, then we at least need somebody that we can experiment with, somebody that we can try to see what their value is, and that's Javon, who's been showing a little bit of promise.
Mm-hmm.
And we obviously need the picks because we're giving up an elite pass rusher. So that would be somewhat. Now, maybe you can get this done with just Roschon. Maybe you don't add in Javon. Maybe you can just get it done with Javon. If I'm Dallas, I'm asking for both and the picks.
Okay. Well, I had in mind, considering Dallas's just roster and what their depth chart shows right now, they need O-line. They need a left tackle. Braxton Jones is your perfect fit in that trade. You throw in Braxton, you definitely give up this next draft's first-round pick, and just based off of what I've been reading, and Adam Schefter came out and said he believes that 2 first-round picks gets a deal done, you throw in a 2027 first-rounder. Now, if you're Chicago, that might be worrisome because in order to sustain this upward trajectory, you need those first-round picks.
Yeah, because you're going to have to let some people go that you can't pay.
Yeah.
And then you also have to keep in mind that you're going to have to pay Caleb.
That's what I mean. You're going to have to pay Caleb. You're going to have to pay Rome. You're bringing on Micah. You got to give him a contract.
Yeah.
You just paid all of these offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Right? So Darnell's contract is going to be upcoming as well.
Yeah,
so
talk about it. Keep going.
You know what I mean? So there are a lot of different things to consider.
And don't let Javon blossom. Then you got to pay him.
That too, right? So, and we know once Jalen's contract is up, he's going to want to get paid like the rest of these corners have been getting paid.
That's the only reason why I didn't bring up Braxton, even though I think that is a good one. The only reason why I didn't bring him up is because I don't see a payday coming for him from the Chicago Bears, especially with the fact that we got Tripoli.
Yeah, Ozzie Trapillo.
Yeah, Trapillo. I don't see, unless Braxton Jones turns into a Pro Bowl left tackle that is just superbly elite this season, I don't see a big contract coming from the Bears. But what I'm saying is that if I am Dallas, okay, fine, Braxton, I still want Roschon or Javon. One of them two I want with Braxton. And maybe we can get away from not having 2 of those first-round picks if you're able to throw in those additional players. But if I'm the Bears, I don't know if I'm giving up 2 years' worth of first-round picks. Yeah. But
it's going to be tough.
Yeah, but we'll see.
It's an interesting topic that has been floating around.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see. I would love to see Micah here, but I don't know what the cost would be. Yeah. But time will tell.
No doubt.
All right, let's move on to the next segment of the halftime report. ESPN acquires NFL Network. Disney basically has bought the NFL Network channel. I guess that means that NFL Network is now just going to be on ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going to. Is it still going to be called NFL Network, or is it going to be just an ESPN broadcast?
It might just be called NFL Network on ESPN,
or something like that.
Because that's what they've been calling Monday Night Football. It's like Monday Night Football on ESPN.
So that's what it'll be. I think that this is ESPN learning to become a consolidating network. So what I've been seeing from ESPN from a business model, it looks like they've gone Amazon, where we're not going to be responsible for, quote unquote, paying people. We're not going to be liable for the individuals that's on ESPN. What we're going to do is buy wholesale third-party networks and companies that already have things going. We're going to make those networks still be responsible for the employees and paying. They're just going to get our distribution by being on our platform.
Yeah.
So you're going to get access to our basically our consumers of ESPN by taking your business and becoming part of our platform so that you can get access to these eyes and these viewers and stuff like that. And it seems like that's what ESPN is doing, because as they are letting people go, not renewing contracts and different things like that, they are at the same time simultaneously acquiring whole networks, which means that they're, like I said, acquiring a whole third party, a business model that already has things going, that already has this individuals a part of that network, that have the cameras, they have their telecasters, they have everything. You just got to literally just make them a part of the ESPN family. And so I think that is the model that ESPN is going with, is we're not going to be the ones responsible for the production of everything day in and day out as a company, but what we'll do is just be the host and the platform for all of you that we acquire to utilize the ESPN brand for your promotion and the things that you're doing. So what do you make of this deal? Do you like it? Do you not like it? I think NFL Red Zone is a part of this too as well.
Yeah, so that's what I was actually going to mention. I think this is a win-win for both the NFL and for ESPN, and I'll get into that in a second. But the good news is NFL Red Zone is here to stay. Scott Hansen is staying with NFL Red Zone through ESPN, so that's a great sign, because everybody loves, people that are subscribed to Red Zone love Red Zone.
Yeah.
So they're still going to have done ESPN, probably in the same type of form, maybe just different design, graphic type of thing, but happy to have that there. One thing that people are overlooking in this deal, and this is why I say it's a win-win on the NFL's part, through this deal, the NFL gets 10% equity in ESPN.
Yes.
That is worth $2 to $3 billion.
Yeah.
And after that, Roger Goodell came out and he was like, we're not competing with the NBA. We're competing with Google and Apple.
Yeah. No, but that's true.
Yeah. It is very true. It is very true.
That is because at the end of the day, what ESPN and what Disney is basically saying to the world is that they see value in the brand of the NFL bigger than what they see in the value in the brand of the NBA. See, the NBA is still soliciting games to ESPN. They're still trying to bargain with them about, okay, take this game, take that game, take this. No, the ESPN is wholesale bought into the NFL, somewhere so that they're like, we trust your brand so much, we trust what you guys do, and we trust your fandom.
Of our company.
We're going to give you equity.
Yeah.
So he's not lying. We're not competing with those boys.
No,
we're not competing with them. They out of here.
That's why I say it's a win-win situation.
Now, does that mean that so Red Zone was something that you had to pay for previously? Does this mean now, as long as you got cable and you got ESPN, that you got NFL Red Zone?
I was reading into some of the pricing. I know they're going to be offering NFL Network as like also some type of because ESPN has been going with this whole cord cutting type of objective that you don't have to pay for cable and things of that nature. But I don't know how it's going to work for Red Zone. That I didn't read up upon, so I'll definitely research that after this show. But yeah, I don't think we need to stay on this topic for much longer, but seriously, I think great deal from both parties. ESPN has been doing a great job with the NFL. Of course, they've had Monday Night Football for a while, but now having NFL Network and Red Zone on top of that is going to be a big thing for ESPN and for the NFL.
Well, I hope ESPN, you don't fuck this up by making us have to somehow pay for NFL Red Zone when I already have ESPN, you bitches. Don't be greedy. All right? Don't be fucking greedy. You already have my fandom because I subscribe to ESPN. You've got NFL Red Zone. You got NFL Network. Just make it a part of your platform. And as long as I have ESPN, I should be able to access those broadcasts whenever they come on, okay? Don't be greedy bastards. All right, moving on, Coach, to the last segment of the halftime report.
Yes,
the
sir.
NFL preseason is about to begin. It technically started with the Hall of Fame game, but nobody really counts the Hall of Fame game as the beginning of the preseason. They just kind of feel like it's like an inaugural scrimmage for the sake of just appreciating the guys who are going to Canton. We don't really quantify it as the first preseason game, although it is. But first preseason game officially in most fans' eyes are starting this Thursday, which is today.
Today, man, we get football tonight.
Oh my God. I feel like a kid in a candy store, Coach. It's been so long since we've seen a good game of football, but it's not going to be the greatest game. I think is Cleveland playing today?
Shador plays tomorrow. That's what I was just checking.
All right, well, I'll be able to watch it tomorrow. So Shador tomorrow. Today, we'll see who's out there and who's playing. Is it the second game of preseason where the starters play more of the minutes?
Yeah, it progresses each week. So
Okay.
I know they'll play a couple snaps in the first
But they won't
quarter.
play a lot today.
I know in the second game they'll play a little bit more. I think third game they usually sit them out completely.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So really, it's that second game that we're probably going to see a little bit, maybe the first half of starters or something like that. All right, so regardless, NFL preseason starts today. We're excited. We're stoked. We're ready for the season to go underway. And just as a teaser, the next Patreon will be us having halftime debate about what we're going to feel is going to be the expectations or should be the expectations of the Chicago Bears and our beloved quarterback, Caleb Williams. So, just a shameless plug to put in that will be coming. So be on the lookout of that. But Coach, football is back. How do you feel?
I'm so happy. I've been missing it. It's what America needs right now. America needs football.
America needs football.
No, but it's
Top-tier
true, man.
games.
When the NFL is on, things are great. Every Sunday until February, we're gonna have football now, and it's just what a time to be alive. I'm excited. This next upcoming NFL season is very exciting as well, with some great narratives, some great storylines. I'm genuinely. I feel like every year for the past couple years, I've just been more and more and more excited each year. Not just because of the Bears and maybe the trajectory that they're looking to go in now, but just the rest of the league. I feel like the NFL as a product has gotten so much better in the past 3 to 4 years than what it once was.
Yeah, I felt like there was a point in time where we were kind of concerned about whether or not the NFL games were getting kind of whack and busted and the seasons were getting kind of tainted with injuries or political things. And not saying that those things don't have their place, because I still believe that players need platforms to discuss things that are very heartfelt to them, and especially during that time period, there's a lot of tumultuous things that were going on in this country. But it's nice to know that we're getting the game back, right? So where the boys will be boys, and we can drink our beers, and we can get with our guys in our garages and our basements. Even the ladies that love to watch the games too, they can. It's a family affair. All of that is coming back. Have you put in your resignation to the girlfriend to let her know that during football season you can't be the best boyfriend you used to be anymore?
No, I had to give her the pep talk. It's like when you remember watching remember the Giants?
Yeah.
And Denzel Washington.
Oh, remember the Titans.
Yeah, remember the Titans.
Yeah.
And he's giving that pep talk in the locker room and kind of setting the expectation.
Yeah.
if you mess up, you will run a mile.
Yeah.
That's kind of the type of pep talk I gave her. Like, all right, well, if you plan any Sunday activities, you're out of here. So we've definitely had that conversation.
If you think we're doing something on Sunday, you got me fucked up. I'm watching football. We're not doing that shit.
Yeah. So,
cancel that reservation. I'm not going.
Absolutely, yes. So there's no RSVPs on Sundays.
man.
We're sitting at home. That's it.
What did you say? No RSVPs on Sunday. That's merch. That's merch.
There we go.
No RSVPs on Sundays. Hey, coming soon. No RSVPs on Sunday. That's merch. Be on the lookout for that from the Halftime Podcast.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited just to hone in on it just for a quick second to see what the Bears can do with all the new rookie acquisitions. We know the guy, our second round picks are going to be playing. We know Luther Burden's going to play.
I want to see Colston Loveland.
Yeah,
that's who I want to see.
I don't know. We might see him a decent amount, considering I think technically on the depth chart, Cole Kmet is tight end 1.
Yeah,
so he should still be playing with that second string.
I want to see him.
That's exciting.
I want to see Luther Burden.
We'll see Luther.
I want to see Tripoli. I want to see Ozzy. I want to see all of that.
We'll be seeing all those guys, even the guys like Cal Monungai, Ruben Hippolyte.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what this draft class is able to do, and of course all the other backups that we have, because we do have some depth on this team in certain positions. So I'm excited to see what they could do. There's gonna be a lot of positional battles in this preseason, and that's what I'm excited
Competition, baby. That's what this is about. This is what we're bred to do as coaches, as competitors, as players. This is our life, baby, and life in general. That's what this is always all about. Are you willing to step up and compete and try to put your best foot forward? All right, NFL season is back. We're excited. Coach, what episode is this?
It's episode 45.
Episode 45.
It's
Coach,
crazy to think.
Yeah.
We started this podcast in week 2 or 3 of last season.
Of last NFL season?
Yeah. So we're
closing
right there,
we're closing in on
right
our first
there.
year anniversary. I told you when that happens, I'm definitely coming in here a little slurred.
A little happy.
A little happy. I won't be hungover, but I'll probably be hungover the next day. Because, baby, it's the Halftime Podcast, the best sports coverage on all digital platforms. As always, you know how it goes. That's Coach Conrad. Follow him at Coach KDZ. I'm Coach Malcolm. Follow me at Coach M_Got It. Follow us on all our socials. Click and subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Halftime Pod. And as always, you know how it goes when we sign out. It's C Red and Bear Down, baby. Hey.